I'm from SourceMesh, and I will be giving a session about delivering high-performance e-commerce with the help of Magento Commerce Cloud. Uh, Something a bit about my company. We are a digital agency based out of Chandigarh. We've been delivering e-commerce and solution to other industries for over 10 years. These are some of our clients and some of the integrations we have done. Continuing to so starting with the question, uh, why care about performance? So it is quite clear why should we care about performance, because I think most of the people in this track are developers. So most of the self worth we get is by writing very good and performed code. So for the merchants out there, I've added some of the case studies. Why should we care about performance? For example, BBC found out that for every a second a site took to load, they lose additional 10% of the customers. Uh, Other than that, there are several other case studies, like the infamous case studies done by Google DoubleClick, which specifically mentioned that if any site took more than 3 seconds to load on a mobile device, the 53% of the users left the site. Similarly, a positive use case, the Pinterest found out that by decreasing their perceived load times for around 40%, 15 they saw an increase of 15% search-based sessions and traffic. So, a bit about what I'll be covering today. Um, I'll be covering some of the features of Magento Commerce Cloud, a bit about Neuralink, and a bit about Blackfire, how to analyze bottlenecks and issues with the help of Blackfire, and how integration with Magento Commerce Cloud provides performance-driven development with Blackfire. So, Magento Commerce Cloud stack. So, Magento Commerce Cloud provides a lot of services to deliver performant code and performant hosting. So, for example, it provides Fastly as a CDN and web application firewall, image optimization, and several other things. It provides New Relic and Blackfire for performance tools. It provides Magento Enterprise along with B2B and other features. It provides rapid development environment with Git-based and Composer-based architecture. It provides AWS as a backend, which is very highly available and highly scalable. Okay, starting with New Relic. New Relic is an enterprise-grade performance monitoring platform which has several products to uh, optimize each part of your application. So, like this is the whole stack of New Relic. We have got several products like New Relic APM, server, plugins, browser, synthetics, and mobiles. Each product can help you optimize a specific part of your application. So, how New Relic works? New Relic has a lot of agents which can collect data from several platforms, or like platforms like application. You can they have Java specific language agents which collects the data from the server, how the your application is behaving on the server side. Like they have agent of JavaScript which uh, checks how the application has been delivered to the client. It traces all the sessions of the clients, and these are available in a very intuitive dashboards, in the form of very intuitive dashboards. Similarly, we have specific agents to monitor servers, mobiles, and they've got a suite of other plugins which can do a lot more. Like they have specific plugins which are developed by developers which can monitor Elasticsearch results and everything. So from all these collections, these are directed to their proprietary storage solution, from which it is very easy to fetch data and convert them into dashboards. And from that storage solution, it goes to the dashboards we see in the front end. So, uh, New Relic integration with Commerce Cloud. Commerce Cloud provides a very easy to use solution integration with New Relic. We just have to mention New Relic in the runtime extensions, and we need to activate the New Relic using the setting a variable in the Magento Cloud CLI, which is mentioned over here. Other than easy activation and integration, Magento also provides specific policy alert policies with New Relic. These are based on app scores, ad rate, and disk space. These are already configured by Adobe to according to the industry standards, but they can be customized by the users as well. So, uh, in this presentation, I'll be only covering only two products of the New Relic, because New Relic is a very vast platform. So, I'll be covering New Relic APM for monitoring the performance of web application at the server side, and similarly covering New Relic browser to monitor the request of the users at the client side, how it is delivered through the network. So New Relic APM gets us the insights at the server side. Some of the key metrics we can monitor over there is web transactions, non-web transactions, slow transaction traces, external services times, along with caller. For example, in our recent project, we extensively used the external services time with caller, because some of the API calls cannot be, you know, uh, decoupled with the page request, so it is very helpful. Similarly, we can see traces of MySQL calls, and we can set custom key transactions also. So we know which of the pages or which of the transactions user do more often, and we can target them as well. This is how New Relic looks like. New Relic APM looks like. This is the dashboard page of New Relic. You can see several metrics mentioned in the different sections in the left side, and similarly, you have all the uh, uh, metrics shown in very intuitive form, like the web transaction time. They have been um distinguished based on the several services like PHP, how much time the web transaction is taking in the PHP, how much time it is taking in the uh, MySQL, and at last the how much it is taking through the network, like in the response time. Uh, there are several other sections which is covered by the APM. Uh, you can look it into by yourself. Uh, we'll be more mainly directed upon the transactions. So in the transactions, we can see all the transactions that are taking most of the time, and causing performance bottlenecks for all the users. It is aggregated for all the servers which we are using. For example, Magento Commerce Cloud is hosted in like a cluster of servers. So we get aggregated data in New Relic, so we don't have to look into each specific server. So for example, in this case, the checkout one page save billing transaction is taking a lot of time. So we can just click on the transaction, and we'll get a summary of the transaction mentioning which functions are taking a lot of time. And from the transaction trace, we can see how that function is being called and optimize the specific subroutine. Uh, Something about New Relic browser. So New Relic browser provides real user monitoring. The JavaScript agent provided by New Relic browser checks how the requests are being delivered to a user through the network, and optimizes. We can check specific request using session traces, and optimize each specific request. Some of the key metrics which New Relic browser provides are page load timing, uh, throughput by browser type. Uh, they even provide geographical data of the users, how your user is distributed throughout the geographical location. It also provides specific metrics to each browser and each agent version. For example, you can if you are deciding, for example, you are deciding specific uh, uh, vulnerability, means you have got some bug or something like that to specific to a browser. You can decide which of the browsers is less used by the customers, and you can uh, decide if the bug is, high impact or not. A overview about the New Relic um, browser. So this is the overview page of New Relic browser. You can see on the left hand side all the key metrics you can see, you can manage, and on the right side you can see the graph specific to the uh, delivery of requests through the network, like the how much time DOM process is taking, how much time the page rendering is taking, how much time is consumed by the web application. Uh, Especially there you can also see throughput by browser, apdex scores. So in this we'll be covering mostly the page views, as it we can see specific page views, how much we can target specific pages which are taking a lot of time, and get the get the results directly from New Relic. We get all the details about the specific transactions in the New Relic browser, and we in the right hand side bottom you can see the session traces of the specific pages are already there, so we can check which one which what specific bottlenecks is creating is being created into the network in the New Relic browser. So moving on to Blackfire. Blackfire is a PHP profiler. It instruments our application code based on several metrics like I/O weight, memory, network calls, HTTP requests, and it provides a very targeted and granular profiling data, which we can target to specific uh, um pages or even Ajax requests. So but we can there are several features which Blackfire provides. It provides on-demand timing, or sorry, on-demand profiling. That is the Blackfire is not active all the time, unlike New Relic, so it can be activated even in the production environments. So because there is no overhead whatsoever by doing the profiles, because it does not observes all the calls. We specifically ask when we have to profile a specific request. So New Relic provides a CLI utility as well as a browser companion app. Sorry, a companion extension which can be used to profile the data. The Blackfire provides specific call graphs of the profile pages, so we can look through the call trace and manage the bottlenecks. There is specific feature in the Blackfire which we can compare the profiles, so we know how much we have improved the performance between the two profiles. When we have improved, whether we have improved the performance of specific web transaction or not. So also we can write performance tests and scenarios with the deployment of with deployment cycles. This is possible because of our integration with Magento Commerce Cloud. So something about how Blackfire works. So Blackfire works. The Blackfire has a companion app and also a CLI utility. So there is the main component of the Blackfire is the probe, which is located right at the heart of the web application. Uh, you do the whenever we need a profile, we do it through a companion app or the CLI utility, the when we ask the companion app to do a profile, it asks a signed request from the Blackfire IO website. It sends the signed request back to the companion app, and then the companion app, along with all the authentication and activation keys, sends that request to the probe, and the probe actually profiles the data, all the requests which the companion has asked to profile, and send that profile to the agent. So the agent is basically used to aggregate the data. We are basically checking the wall time of the specific transactions. For example, the wall time at CPU, wall time at network. So as usually the wall times are inaccurate, that's why we use big O and everything like that to uh, check the complexity of the requests, so specific subroutines. So what agent does is it aggregates data between a lot of profiles, like it will do 10 profiles and take an average of that, so that it is a bit accurate. So it aggregates the data, it asks for aggregation again to the probe, and when the data is aggregated, it will send the profile to Blackfire IO where it is stored. So, so a Blackfire integration with Magento Commerce Cloud. Like the New Relic integration, it is very easy to set up Blackfire in Commerce Cloud. You just have to run a Blackfire setup command on Magento Cloud CLI, and enable it through Magento YAML file, which is in runtime extension node. Okay. So Blackfire's integration with Magento Commerce Cloud in the deployment cycles. So we have the Blackfire can be unlike New Relic, which can be used only in staging and production environments. Uh, Blackfire can be used in the development local machines as well. So we can detect all the bottlenecks and performance issues before it is being deployed to staging or production. So it reduces a lot of stress on the developers. You can run the profiles on specific requests. You can run the profiles even on the CLI command prompt or console jobs you have written. So uh, uh, it is integrated on all the stages of the development. Like you can use it in the development. When you push the code through the integration, it is the automated tested. You can check it while deploying to the integration. Like that, it can be checked on the production as well. If somehow it gets the code gets to the production, you can still profile the data and check the bottlenecks and finish the issues and send them again to the deployment pipeline. So there are two ways how we profile the data in Blackfire. First, the companion companion extension, in which you can just go to the URL of which you want to profile and press the profile button, and it will profile all the uh, classes which are being used in the specific page, and it will send the data to Blackfire IO where you can check all the stored profiles. We can also profile the data using the Blackfire CLI utility. In that, you can use Blackfire run command to profile a specific command or script. You can also use Blackfire curl to profile a specific AJAX requests, as they are not profiled by the browser extension. So this is how the Blackfire call graph looks like. You can see on the left hand side all the classes which are there in the specific page are mentioned. On the top hand side, you can see the wall time specific to the network, CPU, and all the things. On the right hand side, you can see the whole call graph and how the functions are being called. Uh, So when you click on specific function, you can see on the left hand side that you see the caller and the callee of the function, and how much time a specific function is taking. So you can determine which function is taking a lot of time, and determine the bottleneck that way. We have got also the compare feature. So the all the profiles you have done are stored in the Blackfire IO website, and you can compare all the profiles, and the difference between the profiles can be listed like in the bottom image. So the integration of Blackfire with Commerce Cloud. So there are several metrics which we can measure in the Blackfire. Blackfire also provides several metrics which are specific to Magento to measure the performance, like catalog category view action, um, and several other actions which you can find the document on the Blackfire IO website. Writing performance tests with Blackfire. So the Blackfire performance test consists of mainly three sections: the name of the uh, test, the context of the test, whether it is HTTP or CLI command, and a set of assertions which measure, which is the metrics we need to measure specific to the test. This is a sample test. Uh, uh, in this test, most of the cases are HTTP requests. So, like we can mention the main memory consumed by the profile should be less than 50 MB, or the peak memory should be less than 75 MB, or several other metrics which are mentioned in the New Relic dog. Blackfire dogs. Writing a scenario. So scenarios are basically um, automated uh, you know requests which we need to validate. So it is run along with the deployment cycle of Magento Commerce Cloud. So you can validate all the scenarios you need to validate whenever you are deploying the code to specific environment, and it will reply with a fail or pass uh, assertion. So this is a sample test for with Blackfire. Scenario with Blackfire. In this scenario, we are particularly we are checking the redirection after the login of a login page. So we can see the endpoint. We can and the endpoint is configurable, so we can give it during the command. Yeah, when we run the scenario, we can run the scenario locally using Blackfire player if the if it is not configured with Blackfire run. Okay, so the name of the assertion, uh, uh, it mentions specific use cases, means how this will run. For example, it will visit the uh, customer login URL. It will expect a status code of 200. Then it will trigger the submit button along with the parameters mentioned, username and password. It will expect a status code of 302. That is redirection. It will expect the redirection to the endpoint, that is the home page. Okay, that's all from our side regarding covering performance in Blackfire and Magento and New Relic. Uh, Thank you for having me.